I come from a middle class home where this is not even a career option, you know, like I didn't see myself as someone who had the ability to be on screen or who's pretty, who's conventionally pretty. I remember going to my audition with my birthday cake cutting pictures when they had asked for portfolio pictures, but we were that naive.
An actor, a producer and an entrepreneur, Genelia Deshmukh.
I'm wheatish, I'm not white fair, and very often it was considered as not being beautiful. And I think I did have moments of thinking that maybe my skin color won't get me this role, or maybe I'm not attractive enough. Amir Khan, when I was doing Jaane Tu, I have freckles, and back then freckles were a bad word again. It's like black dots on your face, you know, like today we have filters with freckles. And he looked at me and he said, why are they covering you? Like, you know, just come with the way you look, like just come with this is gorgeous. And people fell in love with that character back then, like Aditi. When I took my 10-year break, people were like, you know, what are you doing? 10 years, you cannot get back to the industry if, you know, out of sight is out of mind. For me, I think the toughest job is being a homemaker. And I don't think it gets enough of credit. Shaming menopause is another thing. I hear a lot of women saying, oh, you're 35 and you've already menopause. So? And it bothers me, like, you know, it bothers me to hear these things once in a while. Like, someone told me, when you attain menopause, you're going to start looking older. I said, okay, so?
Hello and welcome. This is the Rule Breaker Show with me, Shaili Chopra. What rules are we breaking? In the spotlight is Genelia D'Souza. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too, Shaili.
This interview has been long coming. Let's go straight to that very important question.
Yes.
What rules does Genelia break and why?
You know what, I don't wait for someone else's validation. I think that's the biggest rule that I've broken all the time and every time. Like in a place where, you know, people only thought that films meant Bollywood, I went out and explored the South, I explored different languages, and this was like 20 years ago. I just went and did what I felt I wanted to do, you know, in terms of doing what you really want to do, which is films. It didn't matter that it is just this banner or just this particular actor. It was about figuring out what I want to do and when I want to do. And I think that really helped me develop a kind of personality as well as a career. Because today we talk about, you know, going down south, doing this, doing that, in terms of for films. But I feel what I did way before helped me understand that you don't need someone else's validation to say that you are good. You know, you need to kind of do it for yourself. And I think most women down the line are constantly seeking validation, be it from, you know, a partner, be it from your parents. You're always seeking the fact to be perfect.
Why?
I have no idea. Like, when I became a mom, the pressure on me to be a good mom, which I don't know what that term is still, you know. I remember when I had my first child, being a mom the first time around and being a mom the second time around was two different places, you know. Like, I think first I was just listening to everyone, which is a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but the want was to be what they saw me, you know. I think second time around I realized that this is me and this is the kind of mom I want to be. So somewhere I think as women we want to live up to perfection. I think there's a lot of beauty in imperfection, and there's a lot that comes out through it. So I always tell parents that everyone's like, you know, your kids are so well brought up, and you know, I'm like, yeah, but I'm not perfect. I have a day when, you know, I think that this is really tough, and there's another day that I feel that, wow, there's nothing else that I want to do but this. But
but it's maybe that normalcy of just being the way you are on an everyday basis that perhaps raises children to believe that you can be at peace with yourself.
Yes. I think I am at peace with myself. I think I'm not very ambitious. I mean, I like to do what I like to do and I give it my 100%. But I'm not someone who wants to be 1, 2, 3. I want to be to the best of my ability, and I think that's something that I have given it to my kids. I keep telling them that, you know, if you have done something that's to the best of your ability, then you're a winner. If you've not, then it's time to introspect. So don't try to be someone else, be you. You know.
So, you know, I want to ask you, where does this confidence come from? When you said, you know, at 20 years ago, I started out in the industry and I chose the things I wanted to choose. I went down south, I did my own thing. But doing your own thing in an industry is nearly impossible. There is always like this little thing you need to fit into, right? So then where does this confidence come from?
You know, I don't think I was very confident throughout. I think it was derived confidence that took me through, because I honestly would thank my upbringing. I think my parents didn't just bring me up to be a daughter-in-law. They brought me up to be a woman of some substance, and I think the point when you can take a call for yourself, and I'm not saying this doesn't need to be an extremely strong-headed woman or an extremely, you know, just someone who's at home 24/7. I think that mid-route of how a woman should be, like, you know, you can be strong, you can have a very clear thought process, and you can also be at home. I think we don't depict these kind of women very often, and I think that's me. I think, like, when it's family, I'm with my family, and, you know, I'm an absolute mom.
So, you know, there's also this stereotype about what a strong woman is. Right? And there's this constant thing, oh, you know, that one with the view is strong, that one with the perspective is strong, that one is power dressing. All of these labels just keep sitting on it. Why is the world so scared of a strong woman, you think?
I have no idea why they are scared, and I have no idea why a strong woman needs to, you know, over depict herself. Like, on certain days, I think I'm a strong woman too. I think I take a lot of decisions. I don't necessarily need to power dress or need to be screaming it from the top. I mean, there are times that you have to put your foot down and have to make your viewpoint very important, but that doesn't necessarily, I also feel it's a bit of tact. It's how you do things versus just doing things as a person, not just a woman. But like with me, if you have to ask me, what does straightforward mean, you know, and if you're so rude that you've ruined someone's day, I think I'd rather not be straightforward in that sense. But the way of doing it, like if I had to communicate what I need to communicate, the tact of doing it, or the way of sitting down and saying, you know, I really think that this is not something that I appreciate, could be a nicer way of getting your way across versus saying that, hey, I think you suck. You know, so I feel these thin lines sometimes make a difference to one's personality and to the person that you're with as well.
Globally, there's a conversation among women today about the idea of rage being therapeutic. Because for years and decades and centuries, women have bottled up their rage and never had an outlet for it. And when I term rage, it's actually perhaps a stronger form of their expression, more than anger in its true style, right? What happens to Genelia when rage becomes her?
Well, so I am someone who, if I'm upset, if I'm angry, I have to spill it out. Like, I will not keep it in. I mean, Ritesh and me are like two poles apart, and like when he's upset or angry, he goes to sleep. He doesn't discuss it. When I'm upset and angry, he'll hear me out. You know, he says there's no point in having a point of view now. We'll have it in 5 minutes. So I've been lucky to be able to voice out when I'm upset, when I'm angry. But I've not reached a stage where I'm livid, or, you know, where I need to yell and scream. And I'm very firm when I'm angry. I'm like, this is not happening. You know, like I, as a person, I believe in conversation, to put it into perspective, with everything, whether I'm angry, whether I'm sad, and I need to be heard. If you're not allowing me to speak, it will come back at some day, and it will come back with tears, and, you know, I'll be a mess on another day. But yeah, I think something that I don't like is self-pity. Like, I don't like self-pitying myself. If I have an issue, I need to address it rather than say, oh, this one has done this to me. But There are like a handful that I'll probably talk to in terms of when I'm upset or when I'm angry, because I don't think everyone can solve your problems. I don't think everyone is your best friend either. Like, I think I'm a friendly person and I think I can have conversations with everyone, but I don't mix the fact that, you know, we're acquaintances, we've had a great time today, we don't necessarily need to be best friends. And I won't term someone as a best friend unless there's a part of me that I have spoken about and, you know, let you come into my life. So I'm very clear on these points, you know, and I think clarity came from the point of being a sports girl. Like, I think the ability to lose, the ability to fight harder, the ability to be a loser on one day and be a winner on the other day just because you tried, is something that I apply in my regular life as well.
So why football though?
Football, yeah. So again, I broke a rule.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely back then.
Yeah. You know, girls weren't even encouraged to play sport then, and it's really sad that we came from that place where, like, I was the only girl in my. I was in an all-girls school, but I was the only girl who was doing sport, and that's because my dad was so clear that you have to do sport, and you know, my mom was like, go there and do what you want to do. But when it came to my 10th standard, I still stopped because studies meant more. When my heart was with sport, you know.
Yeah.
And then I went to college, and there was this football team news that was coming up, and I said, let's try it. You know, I've never done this, but let's go into it. I went into it. We reached the state finals. From there, we lost at the state level, you know, football thing. But I was picked up for the nationals. So, so I think what happened again was the fact that I can be an equal. You know, I can do it. Not saying too much, but just being part of boys at that point in time. Like, I used to be the only girl very often who was part of a boy gang, just because I spoke the same language. I loved sport. I didn't need to be constantly dolled up. I didn't come from a place of pink ribbons and satin bows. I didn't, you know, I didn't. My parents didn't bring me up. I mean, I realized about all this when I had kids and people would be like, is it blue or pink? I was like, no, it's yellow. I didn't come from a place of pink ribbons and satin bows. I didn't, you know, I didn't. My parents didn't bring me up. I mean, I realized about all this when I had kids and people would be like, is it blue or pink? I was like, no, it's yellow.
Were you judged by your girl gang?
I was judged by my girl gang. I was judged by my girl gang's parents. Like, I'm sure a lot of the girl gang would have wanted to be me, but because they were the good ones at that point in time, and you know, the parents would be like, no, how is she's not studying, she's going to play, she's going to do this, you know. It was all about that then. I know today I meet a lot of them and they say, wow, you've achieved this and you've done this, but I would like to tell, and like I tell my boys as well, you know, you respect what your friends want, whether it's a girl or a boy. You need to understand that they have a choice, and that choice is important. Like, it may not be important to you, or it may not be what you see it, but you have to respect it. Everyone's choices will develop their personality. So I'm glad I stood out there and took those choices for myself, because today I can hang with the boys and see a football match, and you know, I can go with them to see their cricket matches. I can understand what that ball meant, you know, that last
and the thrill that they have that my mom gets this.
Oh, they love it, which is also great. You can hang out with their friends because you speak the same language. But yeah.
So tell me something, just to take you back down to growing up. What were your disagreements with your mother like? And you know, at that point, what were your thoughts about the idea of a mom?
Yes.
Because our world only looks at good moms and bad moms, you know, and I don't think either exists.
Oh my God, it's like I always tell people, I'm like, whatever a mom is doing is to the best of her ability. You know, it's to that 100%. It may not be your way, but it's her way, and it's 100%. But while growing up, my mom, I think, was pretty much my role model, like someone I wanted to be, someone you know, I thought was amazing. Like, I remember when I remember when I first got an offer to do a film, and I come from a middle class home where this is not even a career option, you know. Like, I didn't see myself as someone who had the ability to be on screen, or who's pretty, who's conventionally pretty, because I played so much sport that I was always sunburned and tan, and you know. So when I first got the opportunity, and I thought my parents and me would be on the same page, and we would be like, you know, no way. And my mom, of course, was scared. They were apprehensive. My dad was scared. We didn't know what was happening. We didn't, like, I remember going to my audition with my birthday cake cutting pictures when they had asked for portfolio pictures, but we were that naive. We didn't understand the world, you know. And I remember sitting with my mom and having this conversation, and I was like, I don't know whether this is me, you know, I can't be this person. And she just told me, she said, it's an opportunity. On the way, you'll figure out whether you want to do it, you don't want to do it. But don't have a preconceived notion that you don't want to do it. And I think for someone then to have that kind of thought process when the industry was a bad word, when, you know, all of this was like being part of films for a girl is a bad word, you know, back then. But to be so progressive and tell me that you may not like it, 2 years down the line, you may not like it, but don't let go of an opportunity just because you assume you don't like it.
Yeah.
So I think that brought that kind of clarity for her to have, and it comes from the fact also that she was someone who was working. She was never at home. She was someone who had a 9-to-5 job. She was part of a pharmaceutical company. So I think her thinking was very different from every other mom that I knew, you know, back then. But the only thing she told me was, you can't give up your studies. I'm like, how do I do both? Like, you know, she's like, you'll find a way. Like, you know, you'll find a way. And I'm glad she said that then.
Backups are good.
Backups are always good. I mean, today also, backups are always good. When I took my 10-year break and I started Imagine, people were like, you know, what are you doing? 10 years, you cannot get back to the industry if, you know, out of sight is out of mind. I was like, that's fine, but this is what I want to do, and that doesn't mean I'm not working or I'm not busy. I'm running a startup.
What was the 10-year break for?
So honestly, I didn't think I could work and be a mom. For me, I think the toughest job is being a homemaker. I honestly, and I don't think it gets enough of credit. I don't think it gets enough of, it's not spoken enough. It is the toughest job. I have worked and I've been a homemaker for 10 years. And I honestly feel it's a thankless job. It shouldn't be. It should definitely not be a thankless job, because like planning your kids' food, planning what the meals should be in the house, making sure the staff is right, your drops, pickups, logistically you're handling an entire industry at home, you know, very often. And even if it's 3 people, you're still handling a startup at home, you know. So I didn't think I could do both, you know, and I thought I wanted to be there for my kids. I wanted to be a mom who's present, not a helicopter mom. I don't think I need to be that person, but I need to be present. I need to, like even with Ritesh, I'm like, you know, our relationship can't go ahead if I don't grow with you every day. That was a similar thing that I had with my kids, you know.
But I'm wondering if you were judged for this also.
I was. I'm telling you, I was. I was told that, you know, you can never come back. Like and I was like, if not, it's not. But, you know, I need to do what I feel comfortable at this point in time. But I think I started getting so comfortable in that zone of just doing, and I don't think I was extremely happy. Like I thought I was thrilled and I was happy doing just this. But I remember Ritesh coming up to me and telling me that, you know, you need to do what you love as well. It may not be 5 films a year, it may be 2 films a year, but do what you're good at and what you need to do. Thankfully, I've had these kind of men in my life, so you know it's easier to speak, to progress as a woman. And then I figured out that I can do both, you know. But it took me some amount of time. I'm glad I took my time to realize that, because again, it was no one else's validation. It was my validation to how I want to live my life and how I can live my life. But if you ask me today, would you have not taken those 10 years? I would have definitely taken it, because I don't think I could have done that to the best of my ability if I wasn't in that place. Being a mom is something that you've never heard of before. Like, as much as you hear about it, when
it's
you're
a lived
in that
experience.
place, when you're in that place, it's just different. I mean, all people say is so cute the child is. What about the mom? Like, no one ever asks you, are you okay? Is it all good?
Yeah. There is now a new realization that Indian demographics will start bulking up at the center. 35 to 45 is going to be the largest population, and women are in this. They're constantly, and Indian women enter perimenopause much earlier than their global counterparts. I was just wondering, is this even a conversation?
Of course.
Amongst you all? And
no, I think it's an important conversation. I think it is something that sees imbalances. It is something that sees your body changing, just like it did during pregnancy. It's it's your next, right? It's your next step of life, and not being educated enough. And I have to admit to myself also that I'm not extremely aware. I sit with my doctor, Dr. Noza Sharia, who talks.
He's been on this show.
Yes, and he talks about perimenopause. I went for a lot of his his talks because I just found it so amazing what he was saying, and it was lovely because he had a clear mix of diet and medicine. And I think again, like, it's
and
not
he's
just
very
that.
supplement friendly. He's like, if your body needs it, take it.
I say that too. I'm like, why can't you take it? Like, everyone's like, no. Like, I know a lot of my friends who have had thyroid, and they are scared to take a thyroid tablet because you'll be on a pill for life. I'm like, so?
I've been on it for 24 years.
So?
Like,
what's wrong in that, right?
The thing is, we have a mindset as women, and this is my understanding of working with women for the last 15 years. If the solution is sitting there, they're like, let me go around the world and analyze whether I need it. I'm like, it's there.
It's there.
Pick it up.
Pick it up. It's a supplement. You need it. It's fine. Like, I may need I may need iron for what, like, my hemoglobin has always been on the lower side. It's never been, 15. But so what? I'll supplement it, right? Like, I think the ability to understand that these are not bad words.
We are okay with hair extensions.
Yes, we are okay with transplants, extensions, false lashes.
Right.
But we won't do this, and it bothers me. From a young age, people with children, they don't do a vitamin D and a vitamin D, and it's not for veg and non-veg. I would like to say this loud and clear. There are enough of non-vegetarians who are B12 deficient. It's not about
100%. We have enough sunshine. We're vitamin D deficient as a nation.
I mean, and you have to start it young. Like, my kids are on, a vitamin B and a vitamin D.
And it's some of the most underrated supplements when it comes to mood lifting, because that's the thing that bothers women the most as they grow.
So, talking about perimenopause is important. Talking about menopause. Shaming menopause is another thing. I hear a lot of women saying, oh, you're 35 and you've already menopause. So?
It's interesting you said that. I just met somebody who had possibility of breast cancer, and she was forcefully menopaused by her medication. And it's really exactly what you just said. So much menopause shaming in our country. And it's partly because they don't know that Indian women in any case menopause much earlier, right? Or it's also this self-inflicted shaming. So a 48-year-old already in menopause, like, I'm not in it. We other the problem. It's somebody else's.
It's someone else's, I'm like, and it bothers me. It bothers me to hear these things once in a while. Like, someone told me that, when you attain menopause, you're going to start looking older. I said, okay, so? I mean, we are going to get it.
It's funny you say that, but I asked this question to Dr. Shahryar on this show, and he said we don't make the distinction between menopause and aging. And we need to, because you may menopause very early, late 35s or early 40, but you may not age for a while, right?
I mean, it's, and most women, I think, they don't talk about menopause because they fear that they're looking older. I mean, I think looking older is beautiful, to put it into perspective. I mean, of course, you can go and, if you feel the need to help yourself, that's up to you. It's like supplementation. I'm not someone who feels that. I feel like every line tells a story. And I like it. I like I like looking different from what I looked as Jane Tu. I like looking, you know, very. Oh, sorry, this is like fallen off.
Don't worry, it's good. Yeah.
I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to be the same person that I was when I was 18.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. Be it in thought, be it physically, be it how I look. I'm definitely going to change, and so what?
Yeah.
Change is inevitable.
Like I never want to be 20 again.
Yeah, I don't want to.
The person, I feel I'm much cooler at 40.
Yeah, like, so I feel, and of course, you know, looking older is a lot of why women take wrong steps, you know, because you're not comfortable or confident of the way that you look. You can, or feel, you know.
I think knowing is believing a lot.
I think so too, I think so. And it's great you are speaking about it. I think it's great that I have understood it on the way. Like today you see so many women who go out there without hair color and they look stunning.
They really do.
They do.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's society pressure to color your hair very often.
But I always look at it this way, that's always an option.
Yeah.
You can always get it done.
You can always get it done. You know what I mean? I mean, if you feel like going red today, go red. You feel like just growing out, go grow it out. Like it shouldn't be such a big deal. Like it shouldn't depict how you feel confident.
And that is the most liberating part of the conversations we are currently having, right? But I want to pick up on the lines because you said that I'm very comfortable with the lines. Lines tell a story. So in your new film, Sitare, you know, you're without makeup.
Yes.
Now, this is clearly breaking an industry rule.
Yes.
Why did you feel okay doing that?
Yes.
And I know sometimes roles can demand this.
Yes.
But women can still say, no, I'm not okay with it. I want it the way I want it.
Yes. So I think, again, it comes to the fact of being comfortable in your skin. I think it's nice, like if you're playing a girl who's going to work every day, like you and me, I don't think we're like, you know, with 10 layers. Also, I would like to say that a no makeup look is also makeup at sometimes, you know, which we just like, just being presentable sometimes is lovely. Like, you know, it's just, it shows some amount of care that you've taken on yourself on a certain day, and I don't go against it, but I just feel that actually, honestly, to be fair, Amir Khan had one when I was doing Jane Tu. You know, I have freckles, and back then freckles were a bad word again. It's like black dots on your face. You know, like today we have filters with freckles, but back then. And he looked at me and he said, why are they covering you? Like, you know, just come with the way you look. Like, just come with this. This is gorgeous. And people fell in love with that character back then, like Aditi. And it's an extension today. Like today I'm Sunita. I have this thing where she speaks about a broken marriage. Like my character is basically someone who's in a marriage that's not going right, that has difficulties in a marriage. And again, her character is someone who's talking, and his character is someone who's running away, you know. But just being someone that I felt that I needed to look as natural as possible for the character to click with someone who's going through a similar zone, you know, who's feeling taken for granted, who's feeling that they cannot go there and talk. Like, for example, getting pregnant is such a big deal. Like, you know, like, people think that you get married and you get pregnant in the next day. Like, and it's not. It's tough. There are so many people who are struggling with it, and they are shamed again. You know, this film talks about a woman in her 40s who wants to have a baby, and you know, in the process, how people are telling about you're 40, you can't have it. Sure, there'll be a little more care that you need to take. Sure, there'll be supplementation maybe that you need to, but it's not impossible.
Thanks very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Super.